the amount of participants we have. All right, folks. Let's talk about the simple present. The simple present is the tense we use to talk about things that happen regularly. Okay, we use the simple present to talk about things that happen regularly. Things that are repeated, repetitions that we repeat either every day or every month or every year. But we repeat those activities, okay? So, we form the affirmative in the simple present with the subject. Guys, the microphone, I'm recording. We form the affirmative in the simple present with the subject, which is a noun or a personal pronoun, and the base form of the verb. That's a mistake there. Or someone changed it. I can compete with history. And the base form of the verb, okay? The base form of the verb. This is not really necessary. You can have more space in that. You need to. There you go. But that is gonna, I don't like this, like this. Oh, it's the other document. No, it's not open this. Let's continue with this one. And you know that's a mistake. It's the base form of the verb, okay? The base form of the verb. Example, I play, you dance, we watch, they study, etc. So that's the simple present. You see, as simple as that. I play, you dance, we watch, they study. Now, the third person singular takes s, es, and ies in the affirmative, the third person. What is the third person? When we talk about she, he, and it. For example, it plays, okay, the dog, for example, it plays, she dances, he watches, he washes, and she studies, okay? So the spelling. Third person singular affirmative. Most verbs, as in most, it means the majority of the verbs, take s in the third person singular. For example, I sit, he sits. Verbs ending in ss, sh, ch, x, or o take es. Remember this, guys. This is very important. You need to take this into consideration, okay? This is something you need to memorize. You need to practice a lot. For example, I kiss, he kisses. I crash, he crashes. I catch, he catches. I fix, he fixes. I go, he goes. Do you see the endings? S, sh, ch, x, and o. You have all the examples there. The verbs ending in a consonant plus y, we drop the y and take ies. For example, I try, he tries. But I say, he says. Why? Because a is not a consonant. A is a vowel. So the rule is for consonant y, not for vowel y. Okay? Cool. We use do plus subject plus the base form of the verb in all persons except the third person singular to form the interrogative in the third person. We use does plus subject plus base form of the verb. Example, do you play tennis? So we use do for you and for the others. Now, for the third person, we use does. Does she play tennis? Does she play tennis? You see? Does. Now, notice how the verb play in the second question, in this question, how the verb play in the second question does not change at all. It stays the same because the auxiliary does absorbs the variation of the verb. Remember that here we say it plays, she dances, he watches. In questions, we do not use that because we have an auxiliary that absorbs that variation of the verb. So in negative and in questions, in the simple present, the verb does not take s, es, or ies. Remember that, okay? For example, does she play tennis? That is incorrect. What is the correct one? Does she play tennis? Because the auxiliary takes the variation of the verb. She doesn't like ice cream. It's incorrect. We don't say likes because we have doesn't, the auxiliary does, which is absorbing the transformation. So the correct one is she doesn't like ice cream. Alrighty? So that's questions and negative. Now, the structure of the affirmative, interrogative, yes or no questions. In the affirmative, we have I sleep, you sleep. For the third person, we have he sleeps, she sleeps, and it sleeps. And for the plural, we have we sleep, you sleep, they sleep. In the interrogative, do I sleep? Do you sleep? In third person, does he sleep? Does she sleep? Does it sleep? Plural, do we sleep? Do you sleep? Do they sleep? So you see how we form questions? Does for the third person, and the verb never changes in questions. Now in the affirmative, for the third person, it changes. Short answers. For this type of questions, these are yes or no questions, we have short answers. For example, do I sleep? Yes, you do. Do you sleep? Yes, I do. Or no, you don't. And no, I don't. Does he, does she, does it sleep? Yes, he does. Yes, she does. Yes, it does. No, he doesn't. No, she doesn't. No, it doesn't. You see, these are the short answers for these questions. Do we sleep? Yes, you do. Do you sleep? Yes, we do. Do they sleep? Yes, they do. No, you don't. No, we don't. No, they don't. Okay, so these are the short answers for these questions. So as you notice in the short answers, we use the auxiliary, guys. We do not use the verb sleep. For example, yes, I sleep. No, 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 no. It's yes, I do. Okay, does she sleep? Yes, she does. We use the auxiliary that we are using in the question. Negative form. We form the third person singular. We form the third person singular in the negative with does not or doesn't plus the base form of the verb. For example, he doesn't dance well. He doesn't dance well. Remember, this is a contraction we use when we speak, not when we write. So he doesn't dance well. We form all other persons in the negative with do not and don't or don't plus the base form of the verb. Example, they don't dance well. Okay, so for the third person, the negative, we use doesn't. For the others, we use do not or don't. So the negative, the full form, I do not sleep, you do not sleep. The contracted form, I don't sleep, you don't sleep. And you continue with the others the same way. You see, third person does not sleep, doesn't sleep. Cool. Use the simple present. The use of the simple present. Okay, this is the important part of the tense because you do nothing knowing the structure but not knowing when to use it. Okay, so we have to use the use. We need to use, yeah, we need to have the use. We need to have the use of the simple present clear in our minds because that's how you're gonna use it correctly. So when do we use the simple present? We use the simple present to talk about daily routines. What is a daily routine? It's an activity that we do every day. For example, I get up at 7 o'clock every day. Get up is the simple present. I get up, okay? I get up is the simple present in here. So as you notice, the verb is on its base form. So I get up at 7 o'clock every day. We use also the simple present for repeated actions. She walks her dog in the park every morning. Okay, that is a repeated action. It's also a daily routine because it says every morning, but it's also a repeated action because we repeat that action. We also use simple present for habits. He usually goes shopping on Saturdays. He usually goes shopping on Saturdays. So this is a habit, okay? You see that it says usually there? It's because it might be not all Saturdays, but most of Saturdays she goes or he goes shopping. And then we got permanent states like he lives in the US or he works in Claro. Those are permanent states. Why permanent states? Because that doesn't change unless you move, unless you get another job. Okay, that doesn't change at all. So these are the 4 uses of the simple present. Now, we got more uses, but later on you're gonna see those. Okay, so these are the 4 uses. Important for you, keep it in mind, you have this document in the group. Time expressions used with the simple present. We got time expressions, folks, that we use with the simple present. For example, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every summer, every year, you have every morning. You see, you can use every for many things. We have usually, always, every morning, every afternoon, every evening, every night, in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, at night, at noon, etc. So these are the time expressions that you can find with the simple present. Okay, these are the time expressions that you can see in sentences that are in simple present. Object pronouns. This is a different thing. So the object pronouns, folks, are pronouns that we use as objects of the sentence. So we use object personal pronouns after verbs and prepositions. We use object personal pronouns after verbs and prepositions. As objects, we mean receivers of the action. So remember, after verbs and after prepositions. For example, she doesn't like me. She doesn't like me, okay? So she doesn't like me. It's not that I don't like her, it's that she doesn't like me because I am ugly. Yeah, that's kind of example. Another example, look at her, look at her. So this is a preposition, so we use the object pronoun here, and this is a verb, and we use the pronoun here. See that it has the same color, okay? Prepositions, purple, verbs, orange. So we have the subject pronouns that you know, I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they, and we have the object pronouns, me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. So error detection, this flower is for she. That is incorrect, we don't say that. We say this flower is for her, which is the object pronoun, and for, since it's a preposition, we need to use the object pronoun in here. So that's it.